Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Snakebite. We have a ton to cover here, and Gavin's return to the desk. Couldn't be more excited for this one. Let's roll that intro. The baseball team continued their strong start to the season with a sweep of Georgia Southwestern State this past week. The Friday game saw another quality start by 𝙏𝙃𝙀 𝙎𝙉𝘼𝙆𝙀 as he went 5 innings, only giving up 1 run with 6 strikeouts. In this one, the offense continued to roll. The offense was led by the top of the order with leadoff hitter Jevin Relaford racking up 4 stolen bases, while Grant Thurman and Mikey Scott both had 2-hit performances. Colby Rice would earn the save in a 4-1 victory. The Saturday game was all Mocs the whole time, with Florida Southern jumping to an early lead and never looking back, winning it 11-2. The final game of the series saw a high-scoring back-and-forth battle as the Mocs tallied 14 hits, and in this one there was a shining star in outfielder Jack Duffy, who made his return from injury. Duffy started the game 4 for 4, hitting for the 11th cycle in program history in the 10-7 win for the Mocs. The baseball team will look to continue their hot start as they take on Eckerd in a non-conference game Wednesday before taking on USC Beaufort in a 3-game series during Champions Weekend, where the Mocs will celebrate the 1975, 1985, 1995, and 2005 national championship teams.
Number 4 women's lacrosse opened their season with a major 10-8 win over number 8 Flagler. It was the Gianna Murphy show, with her scoring a hat trick, making a statement after a year of absence due to injury. Abby McFerrin and Jenna Vetter got in on the fun too, with each having multi-goal games. Hannah Watson, Hannah Hill, and Kaylee Stokey also found the back of the net with 6 Mocs in total scoring in this one. Flagler surged late in the 4th, but it was too little, too late, as the Mocs remained up at the final horn. Riley Rittberg scored her 11th career win in this one, tallying 7 saves in the contest. The Mocs will battle another ranked opponent facing number 19 St. Leo at home on February 18th. You can find that matchup on the Sunshine State Conference digital network.
The number 18 men's basketball team has had a challenging last week of action, splitting their 2 games of play. The Mocs fell in their road matchup against Eckerd last Wednesday, in great part due to poor shooting from the areas they normally excel in, shooting 25% from 3 and below 60% from the free throw line. The Mocs also let up a huge 59-point second half to the Tritons, effectively ending their game thanks to major plays from Isaiah Placide, who dropped 33 second-half points on Florida Southern. Amari Miller was one of the few bright spots in the game, despite abysmal free throw shooting, leading the Mocs in points with 21, rebounds with 9, and offensive rebounds with 6. The Mocs needed to respond versus a red-hot Lynn team, and they did, battling in a physical grind of a game with highlight plays left and right. This game was led by the Mocs bigs, with Steen and Peyton Gerald combining for 42 total points, with major contributions down the stretch from Christian Feyerbergs, who made huge shots down the stretch, opening things up and providing strong defense and rebounding. Steen led the charge against the Fighting Knights, dominating the glass with a career-high 18 rebounds to pair with his 2 blocks. I was able to catch up with the SSC Defensive Player of the Week after this, and let's see what he had to say.
Alex, 18 rebounds, a career high for you today. What went into crashing the glass?
I mean, Coach told us, be physical, go at it. So I thought, just being relentless. Some of them just kind of landed in my lap, so I'll take them. But, just being physical, being big down there, trying to grab everything.
And a huge day for all the bigs today. PG had a big one, and Feyerberg's a really big one in one of his first games back. He hit it from 3, he rebounded, he blocked the ball. How much does it go into being a SWAT team?
Man, I mean, it just shows, what we can do. We got a lot of guys on this team, a lot of size, a lot of length, a lot of guards, a lot of everything. So I think it was a good game. Like you were saying, Chris coming back, he tries to be quiet about it, but he did a heck of a job. So I thought it was just a great team effort, and that's what we do.
Awesome. Thank you, Alex. Go Mocs.
Go Mocs.
The Mocs return to action Wednesday at Embry-Riddle in what will be a big game to maintain their 2nd seed in the SSC tournament.
The beach volleyball team headed to Palm Beach for 2 matchups on Saturday. The Mocs started off the day against Palm Beach State College, winning 4-1. The pairings of Winford McKinney, Melcher Eden, St. Martin Moody, as well as Muty Low, got wins in this one for Florida Southern. They struggled in the second matchup against Palm Beach Atlantic, losing 1-4, with Winford and McKinney being the only Mocs able to find a win on.
The women's basketball team is having a rough new year, struggling in conference play. The Mocs have lost their last 3, and the last 2 haven't been pretty. To be frank, the game against Eckerd was one to forget for Florida Southern, who couldn't do anything against the Tritons offensively or defensively, losing 78-54. The 24-point loss is the largest since February 3rd of last year, when they lost by 28 to the Tampa Spartans. The Mocs looked to bounce back when they returned home, but fell behind early, and despite a surge in the third, fell to the Fighting Knights 78-67. The loss put them in 8th position in the conference standings, the final spot in the conference tournament for now. They returned to action against the top team in the conference and top 15 team in the country, Embry-Riddle, in Daytona on Wednesday.
This past Saturday, the number 15 men's lacrosse team returned to action against another top 5 ranked team and number 5 Wingate. It started out as a close battle, with Wingate leading 4-5 going into halftime, but the Bulldogs came out swinging in the second half, extending their lead to 12-7, with just over 8 minutes left to play. The Mocs then began to fight back thanks to SSC Specials of the Week, 𝙏𝙃𝙀 𝙎𝙉𝘼𝙆𝙀, who won one of his 19 face-off wins of the game, scoring rapidly and cutting the lead to 1 point with just under 2 minutes. Unfortunately, the Mocs ran out of time and couldn't close the gap, falling 12-11 to the Bulldogs after a save by Wingate in the final moments. Florida Southern will continue to play their gauntlet of a schedule this week as they travel to Tampa to play the number 2 Spartans, which will take place tonight under the lights at 7:30.
The men's and women's indoor track teams traveled back to Gainesville this past weekend to compete at the Celebration Point Indoor Classic. On the women's side, Emma Musante continued to dominate the mile distance, running 5:06, the second fastest time in school history, only behind herself. Caitlin Berry also joined in on the fun, running 5:13 over the mile distance, good for 6th in program history. The men's team wasn't left out of the action either, with freshman Eli Zupa continuing to rewrite the record book. Running 8:25 over the 3K distance, he shattered the previous freshman record of 8:36 held by Christian Giller. In the 5K, freshman Andrew Nyland ran 14:50, the 8th fastest time in program history and 2nd fastest by a freshman. Simon DeVos and Aiden Redmond both added more top 10 times for the Mocs, with DeVos running 4:11 and Redmond running 4:13 in the mile. The indoor season for everyone except Anthony Matthew and Christian Giller, who will head back up to Boston for the David Henry Valentine Classic, has ended. Those two are hoping to secure a spot at Nationals.
Number 13 men's tennis kicked off the spring season this past weekend with 2 top 5 matchups. The Mocs battled hard before falling to SSC foe number 3 St. Leo University. St. Leo dominated in doubles, sweeping the matches 3-0. Florida Southern looked to respond in singles as Frizzelli, Flacquao, Garros found wins. St. Leo was ultimately able to get the win 4-3 despite the Mocs' effort. They looked to turn it around against number 2 Flagler, where they suffered the same fate, losing the competition 1-6, with Boscovich being the lone Moc to find a win. Men's tennis will return to the courts as they face another SSC opponent, Palm Beach Atlantic, on February 18th.
The softball team had a busy and tough second weekend of play, with the Mocs taking on 3 teams each on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, losing every game. The Mocs were coming off splitting a series against Georgia Southwestern State, but despite being close in some of the games this weekend, were never able to pull off a win against some strong regional opponents in Valdosta State, Alabama Huntsville, and West Alabama. The Mocs were able to find some success throughout the games, though, with 9 players having multiple hit games. Amanda Learman also had a strong showing in the circle for the Mocs in a 2-0 loss to West Alabama, where she allowed just 1 run, but the Mocs were held to just 2 hits. They return to action Friday in Winter Park against a strong Rollins College team. And that'll be it for this week's edition of the Snakebite. And we can't forget about the men's golf team. They started the Matlock Collegiate Classic at Lone Palm Golf Course here in Lakeland yesterday. They should be wrapping up those results today. Make sure to check FSCMocs.com. A lot to keep up to date for this week, from golf to basketball to everything in between. We're here for you on the Snakebite. See you next time.